The story of Rachel. Rachel's barrenness and God's timing. Rachel had the love everyone else wanted, even her sister Leah, Jacob's first wife, yearned for such love, but Rachel's mind was distracted by her barrenness, and her soul deeply longed for children. Her husband, Jacob, loved her passionately, his mind and heart had looked past her barrenness. She was beautiful with a great personality and character, but Rachel's soul was aching slowly as she watched her sister Leah, Jacob's first wife, bear children. But little did Rachel know, her barrenness was not a denial, it was a delay aligned with God's timing. Have you ever looked blessed on the outside but broken on the inside? Well, this might be your story too. But hold on, let's dive into the story of Rachel, Jacob's beloved wife, whom he had worked for 14 years to marry. Part 1, Chosen, yet competing. In Genesis 29, Jacob arrived in Paddan Aram, while Jacob was still conversing with the shepherds at the well, asking about his uncle Laban. Rachel appeared at the well, with her father's Laban's sheep to give them water because Rachel was a shepherd. She caught Jacob's eye at the well. From the moment he saw her, he was smitten. He kissed her. Wept aloud. Love at first sight. Genesis 29 verse 17 says it plainly, Rachel was beautiful in form and appearance. He made a bold vow to her father Laban, I'll work 7 years for her. And Jacob did. And it says in Genesis 29 verse 20, they seemed to him but a few days because of the love he had for her. But when the 7 years were accomplished, Jacob requested for his wife Rachel, but on the night of the wedding, deception and betrayal took place, Laban gave him Leah instead. But in the morning, Jacob realized that it was Leah he had married, and he said to Laban, "What have you done?" Laban replied that it is not customary for the younger daughter to marry before the older. Then Laban requested that Jacob should work for 7 more years to have Rachel's hand in marriage. Can you imagine Rachel watching her sister walk into the tent meant for her? Now, 7 more years have passed, and finally, Rachel marries Jacob, but now, she's not the only wife, her love comes with rivalry. Part 2, The Silent Ache. Leah, the unloved wife, had children quickly. Rachel, the adored wife, was covered with love, but had no children. Genesis 30 verse 1 says, when Rachel saw that she bore Jacob no children, she envied her sister and said to Jacob, "Give me children, or I shall die." In a culture where your worth was tied to your womb, Rachel felt invisible and insufficient. Seeing her sister Leah being pregnant, even love couldn't silence the pain of waiting. Part 3, Trying to fix what only God can do. Out of desperation, Rachel gave her maid to Jacob, her way of helping God. She started naming children born from someone else's womb. But it wasn't enough. Then suddenly a turning point came. Genesis 30 verse 22 says, Then God remembered Rachel, and God listened to her and opened her womb. God has taken away my disgrace. She gave birth to Joseph, who would one day rise to power in Egypt and save his family from famine, to preserve the tribe of Israel. Part 4, Joy and Sorrow Together. Rachel conceived again for the second time, this time, Benjamin. But in labor, something went wrong. Genesis 35 verse 18 says, As she breathed her last, for she was dying, she named him Benoni, son of my sorrow, but his father called him Benjamin, son of my right hand. Rachel died just outside Bethlehem, the place where another child would be born centuries later. Jesus. Even in her death, Rachel points us to hope. Joseph would save Israel, Benjamin would become a tribe of warriors. And Rachel's name would be remembered. Closing. Rachel's life teaches us. You can be deeply loved and still desperately waiting. God sees your silent pain, and in His time, He will remember you. Delay doesn't mean denial. Even in sorrow, you can give birth to destiny. Are you in a season of waiting? Do you feel like God has forgotten you? Be encouraged. In God's timing, your heart desires and prayers will be answered. Drop a comment if this story touched you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Stay tuned, till next time, the Lord bless you always.